pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus City Council regular meeting agenda for Monday, September 24th, 2018. The roll will show that all council members are present this evening. We took a roll call vote earlier and all are present. We need to amend the agenda this evening. We are going to strike 6A1 from the agenda. And number 2 will be the minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A is the clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11, warrant 18-18. And 12 is adjournment.
Move to accept the agenda
Support.
as amended.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the amended agenda that's presented. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, council meeting held September 10th, 2018.
So moved for September the 10th, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, which was held September the 10th, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
2B is the approval of the minutes from the special meeting held on Monday, September 10th, 2018, acceptance of the FEMA staffing for adequate fire grant, the SAFER grant, fiscal year 2017.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to approve the special meeting minutes held on Monday, September the 10th, 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley. This is for the approval of the minutes from the special meeting held on Monday, September 10th, 2018, acceptance of the FEMA staffing for adequate fire grant after fiscal year 2017. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
We have no petitioners this evening, so that takes us to number 4, chairperson's report.
Thank you, Barb. We have a lot going on in our wonderful city. I know it'd be spoken more so down the road, but we had our Pumpkin Festival this weekend. We had some new businesses open up this weekend, which I'll expound on it in a minute. It's just a wonderful day and night, year to be in Romulus. At this time, I'm going to, well, we had a meeting tonight at 6:15. We had a study session. And that was about the ordinance regarding basketball hoops and poles. At 6:30, we had a discussion adopting an ordinance to approve 2018 reinstated amendment DDA plan. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I just have a quick two comments about the Pumpkin Festival. And first of all, I want to apologize to the public that thought there was going to be a bingo this year for the Romulus Animal Shelter. Unfortunately, since this past year, we had 2 of our regular people had passed away, and we were totally unable to get enough volunteers to really make the function work. And there's going to be an effort next year to bring it back, and it's unfortunate, and I apologize to the folks that were counting on to play bingo, but we'll make an effort to bring it back next year. And it's rough to get volunteers to volunteer, and we could not secure 4 people all the time to be there for the bingo, so we made a decision that it wasn't going to be held. And I personally am very sorry about that. Number two, I want to compliment Chuck Lindermuth and Emery Long and Jasmine from our city who put together the parade of lights. I was there sitting up on the float, but I watched these three people, and I guess there was only three of them. I don't know why, and if there were some others that were helping, I apologize to them. But these three people worked for about an hour and a half and to put this parade together, and I compliment all three of them. Thank you, Mr. Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Next, the chair would like to recognize Pastor Bob.
Evening.
Good evening.
Just here to announce to everybody that wants to attend this Sunday, September 30th, Ball Road Tabernacle is celebrating their 80th anniversary. And the agenda's in front of you, and I'm going to leave these up here for anybody else that wants one. We're having a regular service at 11 o'clock, and then there will be food from 12:30 to 2:30. Woohoo for the food. And then there'll be a service, celebration service actually, with a lot of historical things talked about, past things at Tabernacle. It'll be a really a lot of testimonies, music. So if you'd like to come, you're welcome to come. Share food. If not, we'll get the mayor to donate a bunch of chicken or something. I don't know. That's it.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
All right. Next, the chair gonna recognize Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to give a resolution to Frances Amanda Spikes Curtis. She's being acknowledged on tomorrow for her dedication to our community and others.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Ms. Abdo for a resolution. Ms. Williams?
Yes?
Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Next, the chair is going to, I'd like this couple to come up to the podium if they would, and the kid, Dawn and her husband, Snyder. I always like to welcome new businesses in the area in Romulus, and we really appreciate, and by the way, your ribs taste delicious.
Yes.
She gave us a sample at the Pumpkin Festival to sit some of the council people. I know Ms. Webb said she liked it, Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Everybody really like your food, so would you expand on some of your?
Sure. My name is Dawn. This is my husband, Morris. Many of you may remember me from being on the fire department for 18 years. It was Dawn Kelly then. My husband came up with this crazy idea that he wanted to make ribs, and a chance encounter allowed us to obtain access to the property over there at 35947 Goddard Road, and we've opened our business clean to the bone. Right now, we're gonna have a limited menu with limited service. We'll be open on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. We'll have brisket and baby back ribs and an assortment of sides and desserts. I brought about 15 menus, so I'll put them on the back table back there. I don't really do the work, he does. I prep the meat, he does all the cooking. Even at home, he does all the cooking.
Right.
So, real happy to be able to contribute to the community. Been a lifelong resident here, Romulus, and this is home. So it's nice to serve my community.
Guarantee you, I'm gonna serve you some of the best ribs and brisket that you have ever had.
All right. All right.
What are your hours?
Well, we got short hours, like on the weekends, since we only open on weekends. We'll open up on Fridays, like at 1
Five.
o'clock. 5 o'clock
Yeah,
you wanna do?
5 o'clock on
5
5 o'clock
o'clock.
on Fridays, 1 o'clock on Saturdays, and 1 o'clock on Sundays. And we'll be open till the meat runs out.
And Can you give that location again?
Sure, it's 35947 Goddard Road. It's in the little area where, once upon a time, I guess there was a fish restaurant was there, and we're in that same location.
Ms. Williams, yes?
I just want to let you know I tasted your ribs, and that name is definitely befitting for the taste that I experienced. I cleaned them to the bone.
All right.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
As you know, Don, I'm not a rib eater, but your husband told me, oh, you're going to like these ribs. And I went through all of this. No, chewing it and it's all in my teeth and sucking on this bone and da. This man's ribs, when you put it in your mouth, it melts. Honestly, you don't even have to chew. Those ribs are absolutely delicious. So welcome to the city, and I wish you much success.
Thank you. We even fed some of your cadets. They had never had any
All right.
brisket. And they were like, oh, now I know I like brisket.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's give them a good hand. Huh? Okay, now, okay.
Of course, my public safety people, you guys get a 10% discount.
Wow, all right. Okay, now the chair is going to recognize Mr. Willie and Norma Cofield and their children to come to the podium, please. Mr. Cofield, and I'm gonna read a resolution. Whereas Norma and Willie Cofield celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary on August the 24th, 2018. Whereas Norma and Willie met in their homeroom class at Romulus Senior High School. The homeroom teacher at the time, Mr. Boyd, announced to the class that he had a dream that Willie proposed to Norma. Little did Mr. Boyd know that he was currently predicting the future. And whereas Willie stated working for Chrysler after high school graduation, and then in 1966, he was drafted into the United States Army. He did 2 years of active service, which one of those years in Vietnam, and then 4 years in the Army Reserves. He and Norma married on August the 24th, 1968, and together they had 2 children. In 1973, they built their house on Bivens Street, where they still reside today. And whereas Norma worked at Romulus Community Schools for 10 years as a paraprofessional, after that she ran her own daycare for over 30 years. Willie worked for Chrysler for over 43 years, working his way up to management and an operation manager. Since his retirement, Willie has been running his own lawn service for the past 10 years. And therefore it be resolved, the honorable elected officials of the city of Romulus express their sincere congratulations to Norma and Willie Cofield on their 50th anniversary. And I'd like to present this to them. Yeah, the picture and
Use your phone.
I know that
This is good.
Ms. Talley, she had presented this program, so it would be an honor to present this resolution. And I will hear some.
I've known this couple since here, you know. I grew up in First Baptist, and you know, my mom is still a member there, and that's home. And that I can't say enough of this amazing couple. We call her Aunt Norma. Everybody at First Baptist calls her Aunt Norma. Just a pivotal part of my youth growing up, and I can never repay her for all that she instilled in me as a child that came into my adulthood. So I am eternally grateful. And then I can't say enough of her husband. Oh my God, they just make the perfect dynamic duo. So I just love you. I just want to say that, and it was just my honor to do this. And thank you so much for coming. I know I'm gonna catch it later, but that's okay. I can take the hit. I'll take the hit. But thank you so much for coming out. You deserve it. You deserve it for all your years. 50 years is an accomplishment. I mean, my parents celebrated their 50 last year, and 50 years in the time we're in right now is awesome. So. I asked her to say a few words or somebody, so I just hope one of y'all would say a couple of words if you don't mind, please, and thank you.
Just want to insert the other council people coming up, and we'd like to get a quick photo with the council people. Oh. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say thank you. Are you? Oh yes, very proud of my son, my daughter, and my wife. My daughter's a school teacher, been here teaching all of her life. Anya, he's following behind. He's at Chrysler as well. He didn't go to school like I did. I went to attend Cleary, I went Clarion, but also graduated from Central Michigan with a bachelor's and a master's degree. So, but that's all because we've been living right here in Romulus. Norma didn't want to leave, so we built on her mother's name property that she gave us when we was coming up, and we're still here. She don't want to leave, period. So that's why we're still here. So, but First Baptist has been one of a training tool for a lot of ministers, as you can see. Thank you.
It's one thing that I wanted to mention, something that Mr. Cofield said just before the meeting started to me. He said, I haven't seen you at the rack lately. He said, I see you grew a beard. You didn't grow too much up here at the top of my head, but I said, I grew the beard so to take the tension off of my head, top of my head. So I had to get you back on that, Mr. Cofield. That's going to conclude the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, then thank you.
5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, our Deputy Clerk, and audience. Quote I brought tonight goes as this, and it ties into the message that you heard earlier and you will hear more about. One of the greatest gifts you can give is your time. And we had a great weekend. The reason we had a great weekend in the city of Romulus is because of a lot of people coming together. And I don't know if people realize, and Mr. Chairman, you talked about the parade and other things go on, but all the events that go on, and Mr. Wadsworth spoke about looking for help, volunteers, working hard to make it a good community. So if there was something that inspired you this week, if it was a parade or an event, and you want to get involved, or you want to get involved next year and do bingo or do other things, we'll take the help. But that's what it takes to build a community, is have people that want to get together and help build that community. So to give out kind of a couple of the thank yous, I wanted Mary to come up and just give a quick rundown. She's our DDA director. She's also was the co-chair of the festival, a lot of events. So there are a lot of people behind the scenes and the groups that make this happen. So Mary, can you just give us some highlights from the weekend?
It'll be my pleasure. Good evening, Honorable Council, Mayor, Deputy Clerk. Yes, we had a great weekend, and this started off over 20 years ago with the vision of some dedicated employees, Maria Lambert and a team that she had at the time, and they spearheaded this event. So on behalf of myself and our Pumpkin Festival committee that she had rallied together and created, we thank you all very much if you are attended and gave anything and enjoyed our festival. I'm going to run down quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but I don't want to miss anybody either. So and again, our Pumpkin Festival Committee, it is a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and they begin planning this festival in March. So we are always looking for more members to join that committee. So if you would love to give some of that time, even just a little bit, please join us in March for the meeting, and we'll start that planning. Our volunteers, as the mayor had said, without them, we couldn't do it. You know, there's a lot of planning that takes place to get us to that point, but without our volunteers being there at that meeting, at that festival, we wouldn't be able to make that happen. So definitely a big shout out to our volunteers, who we have several that actually spend all 3 days there all day long. And as you can hear from my voice, I was one of them. So, but it's a great festival, and I hate to leave because it's so much fun and something always going on. So. Another one of our big thank yous is our public safety. Knowing that they're there if something were to happen, it's a relief to know that they're there, to be there to help us out. And just them walking through the crowd and greeting and talking with everybody as well, it was great to see them. It was great to see them there. Our public works, without them, that is our labor, that's our manpower, who is helping us set up and break down, and without them, it's definitely something that we all wouldn't be able to do without. So. Organizations, you know, it's all about the communities coming together. We have our churches that are holding events, and along with our festival, our schools are doing things. So it's just wonderful to see the community coming together and rallying also to complement what we already have as a wonderful festival. Our Romulus Rotary, huge kickoff to our festival. Without that light parade, this year the biggest, the 37 entries, and it's our biggest light show in Romulus. So a huge kudos to that short team of volunteers that worked so hard to put that together. So. Our sponsors, you know, having them filling that funding gap, making, you know, they participate, but they're also there, they're serving and they're helping, but they also help cut that check to make some of those events possible. And again, our visitors and our patrons, without you coming to support it each year and enjoying those events, there's families that we see year after year they're there, and we've seen their kids grow up attending the festival, so that is just something that it's awesome to see that happen. So I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Couple side notes too to council and the public. It was, you know, drama-free. We didn't have, with the help from public safety, we didn't have a lot of issues, so that was good. So it was a safe event. The new layout, the lighting down there really helps quite a bit. So the other thing is, we still have businesses that are open in that district. So even though we had a big blowout weekend, make sure we support local businesses. Make sure that we help spread the word, because they're invested in their downtown as well too. So thanks to all those who were involved. Also, Mr. Chairman, I want to bring up Director Kraus to talk about our fire cadet program, if he could.
Okay.
Mayor. Good evening, Council, Deputy Clerk. A little over a year ago, I came before this body and asked you to approve a cadet program for the Romulus Fire Department. I'm sure all of you probably remember that evening. We decided to ask for that request because of a number of issues that face the fire service nationwide, not just within our city of Romulus. Many of which is recruitment, training, and retention of the people that we bring into the fire service. We're seeing a large exodus across the United States from the fire service into the private industry, like a lot of public safety sectors are currently. This cadet program, unlike a lot of other things I come in front of you for, whether it's a piece of equipment or an apparatus or something that the firefighters need to do their daily job,
pertain to personnel. And when it comes to personnel, they're our greatest resource. A piece of equipment we'll use for 5, 10 years till it's the end of life, and then we're gonna replace it and we're gonna be back in front of you. But I really thought that it was important to bring this program back in front of you and show the impact that your decision that evening in approving this cadet program is giving back to our community and the impact that it has on the young youth that are pursuing careers in the fire service and in public safety sectors. So before I bring up our cadets and actually introduce you to them and give you a little bit of their accomplishments, I also want to introduce a gentleman who has played a key role regionally with this cadet program in dual enrollment between high schools, local fire departments, and Schoolcraft Community College. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Director of the Fire Program for Schoolcraft College, Liam Carroll, just to give you a little bit of oversight from the college's view of what this program has done for the fire service.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me for just a moment. The program that we have has been very successful because of communities like yourself, allowing us the opportunity to go out and try something new. With Chief Krause's help, we have. Chief Krause doesn't know what I'm going to say, but if you give me a microphone, I'm going to tell you good things. So I'm going to tell you a couple of good things. The students behind us are the minutia of it. They're the ones who are getting a chance to chase their dreams and pursue their academic goals, as well as start careers. That is great for them as individuals, it's great for the economy, and it's great for the fire department. But I want to let you know this, because I deal with chiefs in 6 different counties. Chief Krause has worked hard, Chief Krause has worked diligently, and Chief Krause has worked tirelessly to not just make it happen for them, but to put Romulus Fire Department and the community of Romulus on the educational map. There are a number of communities in the area that turn to the Romulus model to build their own program. That says a lot about the people that you have in leadership positions and what you put forward for them. So I want to say thank you from Schoolcraft College, but more so the kids behind us. Thank you.
So the first individual I want to bring up was our pilot student or pilot cadet, and his name is Chad Nelson. Chad, if you join me. Chad started Firefighter 1 in the fall of 2017 and continue on the next semester in winter of 2018. And then immediately after completing his Fire 1 and 2 classes, started in the spring of 2018 in his EMT classes. He finished his EMT classes by the time he was 17 and actually is waiting for his birthday coming up next week, correct? Thursday, to pass so he can take his state exam. So he was fully credentialed and certified to take his state exam before he even turned 18. He can't even test till he's 18 by the state of Michigan standards. So that was quite an accomplishment. Part of this program was investing and developing potential firefighters for the future for us to capture and bring on. Some of the other things that I've recently been in front of you for, including the SAFER grant, gives this opportunity, gives the fire department and gives Chad the opportunity to complete this program from start to finish, from the inception of him starting as a cadet to bringing him on potentially full-time as a firefighter in the near future if everything goes correct and the process goes smoothly. So he was our pilot program, and you can also see one thing that I want to point out with these cadets. If you notice on their collar brass, the majority of them have some collar brass on their collars. The experience that they gain staying in the firehouse and doing shifts in the firehouse and learning before they even enter the academy gives experience level above and beyond any of the other students coming in. 3 of our 4 cadets right now are identified as platoon leaders or have leadership roles within the fire academy at Schoolcraft College, I think, which says a lot about the experience they're getting here through our fire department and with our firefighters on a daily basis when they spend time in the station. The next individual was our second cadet, Hunter Waynack. Hunter started basically 2018 in the summer, early summer, spring, and started his Firefighter 1, this fall. And in January, next semester, we'll be going on to his Firefighter 2. He was early spring, late winter that he came to us and got enrolled in the program. So all summer long, for the most part, he was able to spend 2 days a week in the firehouse and really gain a lot of experience going into his Fire 1 program. Our next cadet is Jacob Ellis. Same thing with Jacob. Jacob recently moved back to this area from Florida. He was part of an Explorer program in Florida and then also joined the cadet program as soon as he heard it was available here. Started this fall and is Firefighter 1, and in January will be moving on to his Firefighter 2 as well. And then our last cadet, Julia Blevins. Julia again is started her Firefighter 1 in the fall of this year and will be continuing on through January, or in January to Firefighter 2. All 4 of these cadets, again, Schoolcraft College, early dual enrollment that give them opportunities to graduate high school with their Firefighter 1 and 2 certification, and most of them are going immediately into an EMT or paramedic program shortly thereafter. So, like I said, when I started, this was just an opportunity for me to bring back a program that we brought in front of you over a year ago and show the success and the opportunity that your decision made on 4 individuals' lives at an early age and help give them the guidance and the opportunities for their future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Kraus. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Schoolcraft, and thanks, cadets, for coming out, and I hope it's making impact on your life and future career. We do have a quick video clip. We'll run that, then we'll get into some city business that I have tonight.
Good evening. Here are some events coming up. This Wednesday is the final week for the Farmers Market at the Historical Park. The library is hosting toddler story time on Wednesdays until December the 5th. That will start at 10:30 a.m. On Wednesday the 26th will be the annual Senior Center Health Fair. The event starts at 9:30 and runs until 2 p.m. There'll be a public safety meet and greet on Thursday the 27th. The event will take place at the Romulus Historical Park and will run from 5:30 p.m. and last until 7:30. There'll be a citywide free yard sale starting Thursday the 27th through Sunday the 30th. On Friday the 28th, Wings Financial will hold a Lunch and Learn credit score workshop at noon at the library. And on Saturday the 29th, Wings will hold their SOAR program for ages 13 to 22 from 10 until 2 at the rack. You must pre-register for both programs at wingsfinancial.com//SOAR. Wednesday, October the 3rd, there will be a town hall meeting at Wick School to discuss the police, fire, and safety millage. On Thursday, October the 4th, Friends of the Senior Center will hold another fundraiser night beginning at 5 p.m. For more information on this event, call the Senior Center at 734-955-4120. On Sunday, October the 7th, the fire department will hold their annual open house. The event will take place at the department's headquarters on Eureka, east of Middlebelt, beginning at 11 a.m. Fire Prevention Week is October 7th through the 13th. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thanks, Roger, for running that. Now up on our agenda, we'll start off with item A. We have a recommendation that came through Steve Dudek, our Technology Service Director. This is a request to concur with the administration and extend bid award 16/17-2 for Zones, Inc. for the acquisition of computer hardware, software, and licensing for the City of Romulus Technology Service Department. It's for an additional 1 year. That'll go through October 10th of 19. Those funds are available and are coming out of the Technology Service Department Equipment Maintenance Fund, and the purchases shall not exceed the monies available for that budget.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the extension of bid award 16/17-02 for the contract pricing for the computer acquisitions.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for extension of bid award number 16/17-02, contract pricing for the computer acquisitions. Discussion, Ms. Williams?
Through the chair, I would like to confirm with Steve, will this fix the problem that we're having, not being able to receive the council packet electronically?
Steve, you want to come up, please? Good evening.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. This is for basically our existing computer purchases, software licensing pertaining to that sort of thing. Not everything that we purchase comes out of this fund. Actually, the fund that's going to be looking at the proposal to come up with a meeting and agenda management is going to be, excuse me, coming from the clerk's budget. That's a separate line item, and we're still working on that. I'm waiting for Ellen to come back from her leave in order to discuss that solution. But we believe we've identified one, and so that will be coming out of a separate fund.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Ms. Talley?
Oh, Steve, real quick, I'm sorry. Just a couple of quick questions. So we're extending this for a year. Are we gonna bid this out eventually, or?
Yes.
Okay, during this 1
We
year?
originally did the contract, it was for 3 years with the option to renew it for 3. This would be the 3rd year.
This would be the third
bidding it
year.
out next
Okay, and are we anticipating any computer software needs coming up? Is there anything?
We always do.
Okay.
Everything from our infrastructure to just scheduled replacement, yes. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
okay. Any other questions?
Thanks, Steve.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item B, and this is a recommendation from Abby Akins, our Assistant Finance Director. And the request is to concur the administration, amend the 4-year contract with Lasercom LLC. It was previously awarded in April of 18, and this is for the printing of water bills. So ITB bid 17/18-34 will have revised pricing of .125 each, with an annual $4,125. These funds have been verified and available out of the Water and Sewer Fund.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for ITB 17/18-37 for the 4-year contract for water billing, preparation, printing, and mailing.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley for ITB 17/18-37, 4-year contract for water billing, preparation, printing, and mailing. Discussion.
Yes, through the
Yes.
chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb?
Okay, let me start. The owner, per the letter, we have used this company for July, August, and September, is that correct? Okay. When he bidded on this to do the work, after 3 months, he has decided that what is the wording? I want to get it correct. He badly mispriced his bid on the water bill contract. But yet and still, you're presenting it to us for 4 years. I don't agree on 4 years. I feel that within 3 years, there will probably be some new people on this council. I don't like extending bids past my term. My colleagues may not agree with it, but I feel that council members should be able, the legislative body should be able to make their own decisions. And for this owner, it took him 4 months to realize not only his part, but our water department didn't even notice. I mean, there was no complaints. He has it right here in black and white, but yet and still he wants to come back 4 months later, increase it for $4,000+ for a 4-year extension on a bid. That's just my discussion.
Yes, it is a revision of his pricing. That is correct. He made an error in pricing. He still would be the competitive bid. So that was why we continued to stay with him. So that's why we're bringing it back, because we have to revise it because it was approved under the other amount. So.
And through the chair, if I may, I don't mind that, but I do mind extending it to 4 years. The 3 years would be fine, but to extend this to 4 years, I'm not in favor of it.
Mr. Barton?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
If I can, to the mayor, so still at 0.125, you still lower
Still a competitive bid.
the original bids?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
No.
Ms. Webb,
No.
Ms. Williams.
No.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up, we have the item C, which is our SEMCOG 2018-19 membership dues. Those are $2,728. Those have been budgeted for. That'll take us through June 15th of 2019. And just to give you an idea, all the benefit we get from SEMCOG, that was also the organization that we just got the $60,000 grant from to do the design study for CSX between ourselves and Huron. So well worth it for the membership.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the SIMCOG for 2018-2019.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. SEMCOG 2018-2019 membership dues. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item D. This is a recommendation from Kevin Lozen, our Human Resource Director, and Stephen Hitchcock, our legal counsel. And it's to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached resolution to adopt a Morgan Stanley / Lincoln Financial 457B deferred comp plan for the city employees.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to adopt the Morgan Stanley Lincoln Financial 457 Deferred Compensation Plan for the city employees.
And I'll support it.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, for a request for a resolution to adopt the Morgan Stanley Lincoln Financial 457B deferred compensation plan. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Abstain.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item E, and this is a budget amendment introduction. The request is to concur with the administration, introduce budget amendment 18/19-10 to transfer the remaining reimbursable grant balances from the 17-18 budget into the current year 18-19 budget.
Mr.
Chair,
Chair,
I'll make that motion for introduction of budget amendment 18/19-10 for the Community Development Block Grant.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. It's for the introduction of a budget amendment 18/19-10, Community Development Block Grant. Discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to know, is the $31,000 the balance of the community block grant fund?
I can hand you mine.
That's what it says, you're
Correct.
transferring the
For that
remaining,
item, over that amount, which would complete.
carrying it over.
Okay, so that's the amount of the budget, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next is item F, another introduction of budget amendment. This one is to concur with the administration, introduce budget amendment 18/19-11 to recognize the assistance to the firefighter grant revenue and corresponding expenses for the fire prevention grant that was accepted by council on August 27th, and the resolution is listed. There's no impact to general fund balance with it.
Mr. Chair, I'll
Yes,
make
Ms.
that
Abdo.
I'll make that motion to introduce Budget Amendment 18/19-11 to recognize the assistance to firefighter grant revenue and corresponding expense for the fire prevention grant accepted by City Council on August 27th, 2019.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for that introduction of the budget amendment 18/19-11 for the general fund. Any discussion? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The last item was just an FYI. That was for an emergency purchase that we had to make for the front end loader tires. With that, that completes my report. Thank you very much.
6A is the clerk's report, and we deleted 6A1 from the agenda. So we're going to go on to 6A2. And this is a request to approve the following excess city-owned parcel to be relisted for sale with Metro Realty. The parcel location is 6052 Essex in Romulus. That's the first resolution. And then we need two separate resolutions. The second one is to approve the following excess city-owned parcels to be listed for sale with Metro Realty. And this is following the demolition by Realty Transition LLC. And the properties are 6578 Washington, 36282 Park Place, 7331 Kempa, and 28585 Smith.
Mr. Chair, I'll
Yes,
make
Ms.
the motion,
Abdo.
I'll make the first motion that we approve the sale of 6052 Essex as per recommended by the Property Disposition Committee.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for the first property, 602. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
All right, I'll make the second motion then, that we approve the sale of the following, at the following addresses: 6578 Washington, 36282 Park Place, 7331 Kempa, and 28585 Smith.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally for the second set of properties that was presented by Councilwoman Abdo. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3, the Property Disposition Committee is requesting City Council concurrence on the following recommendation: to approve the sale of parcel 8001599003300 vacant residential land located on Vinewood, and this would be sold to Kai Schrody for the full listing price of $6,000.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the sale of the property at 3519 Vinewood.
Support.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this is for the Property Disposition Committee recommendation regarding 35319 Vinewood. Discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A4, for the Romulus DDA Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing Plan, first reading. Council approval.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the Romulus DDA Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing Plan, first reading.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally for the Romulus DDA Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing Plan, first reading. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A5, Actia Electronics of 15385 Pine in Romulus has submitted an application for a new IFT exemption certificate. The first step in this process is to schedule a public hearing, and that would be, the request is for October 22nd at 7 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we set a public hearing for October 24th,
22nd.
Support.
Second.
22nd.
for October 22nd for for 15385 Pine and Romulus.
Excuse
for
me.
their- For their IFT exemption.
Excuse me, that is correct, you are correct, I stand corrected, it is,
Which one is
24th, you
correct?
said.
Which one you say?
wait, I'm looking at it, sorry. Let me just double check. It is the 22nd.
Like I said, October 22nd.
Okay, sorry.
Support.
Okay. Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. This is for Actica Electronics Incorporated at 15385 Pine, Romulus, Michigan. Application for a new IFT exemption certificate. Any discussion? Ms. Abdo?
So this is just to set up the public hearing. We are not granting that tax exemption at this time, right? Okay.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A6 is Kerr Corporation of 28200 Wick Road in Romulus has submitted an application for a new IFT exemption certificate. And also, first step in the process is to schedule a public hearing, and that would be on October 22nd at 7 p.m.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to schedule a study session for Kerr Corporation at 28200 Wick Road, application for a new IFT exemption certificate.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley for the Kerr Corporation at 28200 Wick Road, Romulus, Michigan, application for a new IFT exemption certificate. Any discussion? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A7 is a study session request from Mayor Burcroft for October 1st, 2018 at 7 p.m. to discuss the city purchasing ordinance.
Move that we have said, from, which has been requested by Mayor Burcroft for October the 1st at 7.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for the study session request from Mayor Burcroft on October the 1st, 2018 at 7 p.m. And this is to discuss the city purchasing ordinance. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6B is the treasurer's report, and the treasurer has asked me to let everyone know that she does not have anything under her report this evening. 7 is public comment. Individuals who would like to address city council must raise their hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state their name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chairperson. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office and may not be used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address city council. A response to any questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. We do not have any requests this evening.
Okay. Comments from the audience? Okay.
Grace and peace to all of you, Mayor, City Council. My name is Elsie Fraser Trivedi. I am the treasurer of the American Progressive Association. The acronym is APA. I'm sorry. My family tells me that I have a loud voice, so I just don't. But I'm here. The president of the organization, Bronson Bell, asked me if I would come and read a letter to Councilwoman Virginia Williams. Dear Councilwoman Virginia, on behalf of the APA, we would like to thank you for your participation and contributions you and Mr. Williams made to our 77th anniversary. The movie night was fantastic and everyone enjoyed themselves. People have come to us wanting to know who you are and if you would be at our next anniversary, which would be our 78th next year. We look forward to continuing to work with you in the future. You helped to make our anniversary a very successful occasion. It was a nice experience, and we certainly look forward to next year. We would also like to thank you for your membership. Appreciatively, Bronson Bell. Thank you.
Any other comments? Ms. Lemon?
Good evening, everyone. Jan Lemon. First, I'd like to give you a notice. Excuse me, I knew this was going to happen. The VFW Hall on October 5th is having a spaghetti dinner. For those of you who do not know, they were broken into several weeks ago, and funds was stolen right out of their business. So they're trying to rebuild a little bit. The young veterans do not join these organizations like the old veterans do. And our VFW Hall, we cannot afford to lose that in Romulus.
Amen.
So we need to support that all we can. So spaghetti dinner, October 5th, 5 to 7. Now, Mary, Jasmine, Chuck Lindemuth, all the Rotarians. I know I have seen every parade. And this was by far the best. It was well organized. Nobody knows how much behind the scenes time is put into something. How hard it is to get volunteers. You just heard Bill Wadsworth. People want to come and attend things. They want to see everything that's done. But there's an old saying, if you don't do anything, you can't do it wrong. So you need to get out there to keep our community going. You need to get out there and support some of these organizations that's going on. I thought the Pumpkin Festival, Mary, had more things for little kids. All those blow up, whatever they slide down. I mean, that was just wonderful. It was just a super parade as far as I'm concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Reverend Talley?
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to say I was going to attend resolution made to Deacon Cofield and his wife. I was intending to be here, but I also had to make a stopover at the school board. So as I was sitting there, I said, I need to stay here. I have a voice for the children, I know that. So I had to stay there. As what somebody was saying, we're gonna really have to get behind each other on this thing. And I know you are, but I mean the community, what was being said, we got to have volunteers. I explained to them when I come to this school system, and I was at Corey for a number of years, we never had a problem with volunteers because we had a parent connection. We had a community connection who came out and was willing to work. And number one, they knew what it was all about. It was about our children. Our children just look at the fighting and all that stuff going on. They want to know who cares. Who really cares about me? That's the message. Who cares? And that's the message I left. A little boy, I said, NBC, that's a rule at our school. It means nobody contact, right? Don't be touching each other, hitting each other and all that stuff. And so a little boy looked at me, he said, that doesn't mean that. And I said, well, you tell me what it means. He said, nobody cares. That's what's going on here. That's why I stay where I am. I like to touch the children. I like to stay right down there in the middle of them. And even if nothing, Just say a word, give a hug. You don't know what you might be used, the littlest thing. And I've had children come back to me. One that was my biggest challenges. And that's all some of them needed. To know they knew somebody cared, and they knew somebody they trust. Because they knew how long I've been there, because many times I was going to stop, but I explained to the parents, as long as you see a need, it's kind of hard to walk away from it. And I might die out of there, I don't know. But I'm going to stay there long as whatever, it don't take a whole lot. You don't know the least little bittiest thing. We want to do these great big whole things and be seen of men and all that. No, the littlest thing you might not ever discover that turned one of these children around. I never talk about it, but that's what keeps me going. Bless you, and I'm sorry I missed it, because I sure wanted to be there. But my heart was over there. I had to stay once I got there. Amen. All right, thank you, counsel.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? If there's no more comments from the audience, comments closed.
8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Barton?
Yes, Mr.
If I
Wadsworth.
could to Mayor Burkhoff. Mayor, I've got some calls that folks in this town are having their water tested in different parts of the city. When those tests are all done, the results will be made public, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're testing all the time, and it's always public information.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
9 is new business. 10, communication.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to say, as Reverend Talley said, the school district didn't get in the condition that they're in overnight. And it takes the entire community. And we have to stop as a people waiting until a problem occurs. We have to start being proactive, not reactive. And that's a lot of what's going on now. A lot of the residents, parents are being reactive. This school district do not have to fail. A lot of parents are concerned about that. We're not at that point. All we have to do is pray and ask the Lord to lead us and guide us in the right direction. But as parents and as students, we have to come together and we have to attend the meetings so we can stay on top of what's going on. We have to stop waiting until something become a news article, you know, or a radio article. We have to make sure that we hold those that we elect accountable for what they do with the money that we give them. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Ms. Talley.
I usually like to take this opportunity to talk about the good stuff going on in our community, but it's all been covered. We've had the Pumpkin Fest. It was a wonderful thing. Great weekend. I worked in the evenings most of the weekend, and then I worked during the day yesterday. One thing I do want to sit there, and when we talk about volunteers, which is a lot of the message I've heard this evening is volunteering. One of the things I noticed yesterday that really I missed was the tractors there. I was talking to the mayor earlier. It was just like, would have been nice to see that. But again, we need somebody to step up and take that piece over. The gentlemen, I think one of them passed, and then one is kind of, older, so we need somebody to come up and take those reins over and keep that tradition going, and we need our youth to keep these traditions going. So that was one thing I just wanted to mention. So we need people to get involved. That's just the bottom line. We need people to get involved, volunteering. We have to get involved to keep our community together. So that's just that. But then just want to comment about the business down to the bowls right on Garter. That's just awesome. And then the brew pub right on Garter. Just all this good stuff just going on in our community. Like I said, it's already been said. I just wanted to piggyback. And Mr. Barton, you covered it in your report as well. So just good job, Romulus. I know we still have opportunities, but they're being addressed and solutions are being made to things to keep us continually moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I also like to wish my grandson a happy birthday. His birthday tomorrow. It's happy birthday, Mayan.
Eleven is warrant 18-18.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 18-18 for the following amounts. General Fund, $182,272.67. Major Street Fund, $80,070.89. Local Street Fund, $36,252.47. Cable TV, $146.43. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $10,907.51. Street Lighting Fund, $40,888.51. Oakwood SAD, $783.92. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $2,321.35. Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund, $245. CDBG, 50 cents. NARC forfeiture from the state, $36.01. Library Fund, $10,743.85. DDA, $746.63. Tifa District 2, $6.24. Court Building Construction Fund, $215,419.29. Vining Road Extension, E-Course Construction, $433,045.98. Water and Sewer Fund, $819,344.65. Motor Vehicle, $44,215.26. Technology Services, $31,957.51. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $4,942.33. Revolving Fund, $9,169. Current tax, $164,323.31. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $97,541.87. Payroll Fund, $888.40. A total of all funds, $2,186,257.10.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-18 for $2,186,257.10. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant number 18-18 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.